I am Amber and I'm an intuition and subconscious breakthrough mentor. I created this podcast for you to show you your infinite potential, help you break down the barriers to more love in your life, and to make joy a choice by listening to your intuition. No matter if you're married or single, this show is for you because the world would be a much more loving and better place if we learned to all date ourselves. Together we let go of fears and resistance around your dream life so you can show up in your full authenticity. Disclaimer, listening to this podcast might result in a continuous glow up. Let's start the show. Hello my loves, welcome back to Date Yourself. I'm back after a month of vacation and processing, and we're at season 2. This is such a big step for me because I've had podcasts in the past, but this is the first one who has gotten a season 2, and that's because it's going so well. So thank you so much for listening, tuning in, and listening to other episodes. If you're just discovering this podcast or following me, it means the world to me. So this season 2 is going to be full of inspirational stories of people who have broken through their self-sabotaging beliefs. I'm also going to be diving deeper into self-sabotaging beliefs because they're everywhere. We are self-sabotaging all the time. Not to be depressing, but knowing where you are self-sabotaging can set you free on so many levels. And through the years, I've become such a more joyful, easygoing, relaxed person because of this. And we create our own opportunities, right? Whenever we feel like we want to do something, we can get it. But in the most cases, we're doubting ourselves, we're listening to other people, and we procrastinate. And so I want to dedicate this podcast also to ways to challenge ourselves into doing the most loving thing for ourselves, which is growing into the person that we really want to become, right? Dating ourselves is also discovering who we are and discovering what it is that we really like, what we really want to do, and getting ourselves out of our comfort zone. Like, dating yourself is sometimes not that easy. It's sometimes a bit awkward to do the things on your own, just to realize that you're actually a really fun person and you can have fun by yourself, right? So, not to say that dating yourself is only that. Dating yourself is also listening to your intuition and connecting with other people on a deeper level by loving yourself first, right? That's how I initially started this journey. This podcast came later. Like, I decided that I first wanted to date myself to know what it is that I like, what I want in my life, and then when I'm comfortable by myself and confident within myself, I feel that it's easier to attract a partner that also reflects that, right? And yeah, it's going really good so far. I've been doing this for a few years now and it has changed my life in so many ways. That's why I started this podcast. So I hope that I can continue to inspire you guys through season 2. Really excited to continue this podcast journey with you because it's going really well. And so thank you so much, as always, for tuning into this podcast. If you want to help me grow Date Yourself, if you are enjoying the episodes, leave me a review on Spotify or iTunes. That helps so much so I can reach more people. That would mean the world to me. Thank you so much for doing that. Or leave me a like on YouTube if you're watching there. Hello. I'm also recording videos for YouTube, so if you want to watch with video, you can find me there as well. But anyway, today I am going to dive a little bit deeper into what I do when I'm kind of pushed into a detour. So if something that you want isn't working out, if it's going differently, if it's taking longer, when you are like, what the hell is happening? I thought that this was going to happen for me, right? From a personal perspective, I'm kind of an impatient person. So for me, it's like, let's just get it done, right? So I've had quite a few moments where things were going differently than I planned. And I think that for you, that probably has happened a few times before as well. So how do you keep the faith? How do you know what's actually happening there so you can grow through it and make joy still a choice while you're actually not that happy about the experience? Let's talk about it. So I want to start off by saying that things can happen and change in a second. Like, I've said this before, but sometimes we can question the situation, we can question ourselves and our worth and the timing of it, and then just one day someone shows up and like the opportunity is there, or you finally like get the answer to your question and then you can move on, right? Sometimes it takes a year and you get exactly what it is that you wanted, but maybe you just weren't ready, right? So the waiting time, the in-between time is what people struggle with the most. And actually that's kind of the question that I get from my clients the most, like, why isn't this happening? Or why am I feeling this way? Or how can I like speed this up? And so when my clients tune into their higher selves, their intuition, the answer that they get the most is like, it will happen when it will happen, which is a frustrating answer, but that is kind of what I mean by it can change in a split second. We don't get to decide when that is unless we have control over that situation, right? So there is a timing within these things. And if you think of a goal that you had maybe like 2 years ago, and maybe you have manifested that thing into your life right now. Like before you were really wanting it and now you're living that reality. Can you see how you have been prepared through the process to become the person that could actually experience it, to actually have it? Because in my experience, sometimes we haven't done the work or we haven't experienced the things yet to be able to understand what it is to actually have that experience, that thing that you really want. Have you done all the right things to be able to be ready for that? For example, if you really want to have a pet, for example, a dog, have you read about like the doggy training, or have you bought the right supplies? What might be poisonous foods that they cannot have? For example, like if you get the puppy and you do not know how to handle a puppy, or you rescue a rescue and you have no idea about doggy training, and the dog is really anxious and doesn't know like what the situation is, new house, really scary, you have no idea, you're not going to be able, you will have your hands full of that whole situation, right? So you want to be able to have the knowledge to handle that situation. For example, if you are going to get $1 million or more, do you know how to manage that money? Do you know how many taxes you will pay over that money? Are you going to invest it? Are you going to spend it all and then be broke later, right? You have to think about these things that you really want to be able to manifest it, to hold it, to be able to feel good in that experience. A lot of manifesting coaches say like you have to feel comfortable in it, otherwise you are going to self-sabotage it. You will feel uncomfortable because it's too much to handle, so you will try to get rid of it because it doesn't feel good. It feels weird because you haven't thought about it or experienced it before, and so it's just like, oh my god, what is this? And then you will self-sabotage. So if you are thinking of the thing that you really want right now, are you truly ready for it? What is it that you can do to put the things in place to be able to be ready for it? So if that's not the case, I've experienced a lot of times where I thought that I got an opportunity and it was the best possible opportunity that I was going to be getting, and it felt really good and I was like really excited, and then later it fell through. And later I got an even better opportunity. There is no limit in which the universe, God, however you want to call it, works with us, and it just wants the best for you. And miracles do happen. And if you are not really believing in a universe or a God or whatever, think about miraculous things that have happened in other people's lives. Like really big opportunities, people who have changed their life around, who had beautiful connections with other people that they didn't know before, or maybe like they moved country, or like people that got discovered on Insta, for example. Like you cannot comprehend the many ways in which life can change and the many opportunities that there are for us. And so you can think that you want this one thing, but then the universe is kind of like, yeah, babes, we know you want that, but you haven't seen what we have prepared for you here. And so we don't want you to miss out on that opportunity. So we're just going to, get that one away and give you this other one. For example, also in dating, like when it doesn't work out, you can hold on to that connection, but if you let go, you make room for something that maybe will be working better. We keep changing and evolving, and sometimes it just doesn't fit anymore, and it feels really uncomfortable to let go of the old, but maybe we have already become a new version of ourselves. And so the letting go of that can be painful, and then we get new opportunities that fit us way better. And that can also feel uncomfortable because it's not what we were used to. And that is also a part where we can be self-sabotaging because it feels unfamiliar. And that is kind of the game that we keep playing. We evolve, then we let go, and we need to be strong and say yes to opportunities that maybe feel a little bit out of our comfort zone. Or we're like, can we really do that? Are we ready for that? And we stretch ourselves and we find out that, yes, we can, maybe with a lot of help, or maybe with a detour, right? Or maybe it will take a little bit longer. It is all working out in the best way for us. And if you are tuned into your inner guidance compass, your intuition, you will know when it's time to let go. You will know when it's time to say yes. And you will know when it's time to say no. I recently said no to something that I thought was a hell yes. Maybe you know the concept of, if it's not a hell yes, it's not really resonating with you. And so it's a waste of time, so you can better just say no. So I thought that this was a hell yes. And then I took the opportunity, did all the work, and then found out like, ooh, there's something that I actually want that resonates with this, but is actually not this opportunity. And so I sat with it, and I'm that person like who knows if it's a no, that it's really a no, and I just want to make those decisions immediately, like move on to the next thing. But my people around me were like, maybe you just have to think about this a little bit longer because you put in the work and like you don't know like if it's really this, just take your time, right? And I was like, yeah, but if I know, I know, because I'm like so tuned into the intuition. But I took like, I think like 5 days to really think it over, and I was still a no. And that's the thing about being honest with yourself. Like, you know, if you are tuned into your body, if you have heard your intuition talk to you. I usually also keep asking my intuition questions, which only confirms like why it's a no. So then I cannot really unsee it. And so it's a little bit brutal sometimes. Like, to be honest, if you are going to listen to your intuition, it's pretty confronting sometimes. But I'd rather have that than stay in places that are not going to be what is good for me or what I actually want, right? And so this was a situation where I found out like, this is not what I actually want. And I actually do know what it is that I do want. So why would I like stay in this situation? And there are many ways that you can do this. Like, sometimes I'm kind of an all or nothing person, and that can work against me sometimes as well. So like, take your time if you know it's a no, but you still like want to have a plan B or whatever, right? It's just how I do it. Not to say that this is the best way, but if I know that it's a no, it's gonna be a no, and I move on. So yeah, that was frustrating as well. I'm now in a process where I'm still finding my place within the plan that I have for myself, the thing that I know that is what I want. I have some options, but I'm also taking the time to really feel into what is the best option. So I have an option. It's not the best option, I think. So I'm still exploring what is my hell yes, right? Because I feel like I might be wasting time if I go for a, yeah, it's pretty cool, it's kind of what I think that I want, but actually this is like the dream version, which is a hell yes. So I'm still in the process of letting myself really go for the hell yes. And this is what I said before, like I'm also in the process of letting go of my older version, which is funny because season 2 is me like stepping into my new version as well. I sit here as a changed woman. If you compare me to a few months ago, like I really feel different about myself. And I've actually had a lot of time, like if we're gonna get personal, I've had, I think like 6 months or more, maybe 9 months, where I was feeling like I had changed so much, but I didn't really feel like I had grown into this new version of me, and I still had a lot of processing and letting go to do. And now I'm finally, like after 9 months, at the stage where I'm like, okay, we're there. I'm not sure if that resonates with you, but yeah, just going through changes and trying to figure out like where I want to go. I feel like I know now, and I feel comfortable and confident within myself with that. I don't know, it's just kind of a new era, you could say. So let me know if you're in your new era as well. I would love to know. So I'm now going for things that are out of my comfort zone, but I know that it's time. Like I am ready, but I'm also self-sabotaging a little bit in my mind. And that's where EFT comes in. This is the mindset work that I do with my clients, and I want to do on this podcast as well. Like if you know like, okay, I'm feeling uncomfortable, but I know that I'm ready, but your mind is going like, are you sure? Maybe you should just go for that because it's a little bit safer, you know. That's where you can catch yourself and do the work to let that go, right? So in the next episode, we're going to talk about self-sabotage a little bit more when it comes to these kinds of opportunities. So I hope you'll tune into that one as well if you know that it's time for you to move up, to really go for something new, maybe a little bit scary, but you know that you want that, you know it's time. Let's do it together, okay? So next episode, we're going to work through the fear. We're going to listen to the self-sabotage voice, and by discovering where it comes from, what it is, we can also let it go and shift it into something way better, which will make you feel comfortable with the thing that it is that you want, right? So you won't sabotage and want to like push it away because it feels uncomfortable. So we're going to feel comfortable. We're going to feel confident within it, and we're going to feel human. Because we get to make mistakes while doing it. We get to do it scared, but we're going to make sure that you feel comfortable and confident within undertaking this thing that it is that you really, really want, right? So we're going to work through it. I'm going to be transparent, like this is something that I go through, so I want to take you through this as well, to see how it works, to get the results as well. Well, I go through it as well for myself. So remember, my love, things can change in an instant. And you can listen to your intuition to know when it's time to wait, when it's time to make joy a choice. Like if you are in the waiting period, the better thing to do is just to seek the things that give you joy, to get you in a better feeling state, instead of just waiting and being frustrated and doubting yourself. That is not going to help you get even further, right? You want to make sure that you're still doing the things that light you up. Maybe go do something out of your comfort zone that you haven't done before that feels really fun, because maybe then you will find a new opportunity. You will find new people that can help you with it. Or like you can just take your mind off it for a little bit and just do the damn thing and have fun, right? It has no use to be sitting around and be mopey about it. Yes, rest. Yes, process, journal, ask your intuition questions about it, but then go do something fun. Go on a date with yourself. Prioritize your joy, right? Joy is your birthright. We're here to experience all kinds of fun things. Like if you don't have a lot of money, like think about what you like to do as a kid. Maybe just go make some art. Maybe just go to a national park in your neighborhood. Take a beautiful walk in nature. Maybe just drink some coffee or tea with your friend, right? Prioritize your joy while figuring things out, because it will happen when it will happen, said every intuition soul voice ever, right? So it can happen in an instant. And just go, if you're going to set an intention, for the best possible option, because we don't know what that is. Because there are millions of ways this can happen. There are a million ways that you can grow, and maybe you're ready for something new that is going to make you feel even better, that's going to help you grow even more. And so don't doubt the process. And the shitty thing is that you're going to find out why it happened after. But if you ask your intuition questions now about it, maybe you can easily feel why it's a no, or easily feel like, oh, but actually there is something better out there, or maybe like, oh, this is the lesson that I still need to learn to be ready to be able to do it. Or maybe you figure out like, oh, I still have to think about this or work on this before I'm actually ready, but I've been putting it off because I'm a little bit scared. So let's read about like doggy treats, what they can eat, what they cannot eat, right? Just the example, like I do really want to get another dog, to be honest, when I'm thinking about it. Anyways, I really hope that this helped. Let me know if you have any questions, as always. And it would really help me if you put in a review on iTunes or Spotify. I love you lots. And I hope that you'll tune into the next episode where we will be talking about self-sabotage. I hope you have a lovely week, and speak to you soon. Bye.